Yeah.
2 and 3. Welcome back to Light Breakfast Chats with me, Amy.
And Shayla, I was so
Wait, what? Why are you laughing already?
I was caught off guard when you said start.
When I said start?
Okay.
But are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready now.
Okay. As always, we have on our notes how we are. Shayla, how are you?
I'm good.
Me too, I'm good. So no, we're gonna start off by like we usually do, by talking about what made us happy this week. Shayla, do you want to start it off?
Yeah. So, what made me happy? It was actually a week ago. But it was my cousin's wedding. My cousin got married last Saturday. Last Saturday, and it was just like such a cute, like wholesome, like it was just so cute because I think it's very rare for all of us like as a family to like get together. We get together for holidays and stuff, but like to just enjoy each other's company, just like like truthfully like spending time together, and it was just really nice. It was
That's
really
nice.
cute. Yeah.
Congrats to the newlyweds.
Congrats to
And we're gonna take a little time right now. Shayla, please.
Okay, so what is it? What do they do? Little, no, not a disclaimer. So obviously, as you can see here, I have a beautiful black, yellow, and white cup. I don't know if you can see. Wait, let me do this properly.
Exactly.
So once again, going back to episode 1, McDonald's, if you're watching this, come on, help a girl out. You know, sponsor our podcast. I am your number one customer today, always, and forever. So thank you.
All right, we're waiting for that
We're
sponsorship.
waiting for that. Once we get the sponsorship, you guys are gonna know we made it. In my eyes,
For sure.
yeah.
Alrighty. So what made me happy this week? What made me happy this week was let it go. Let it go. Letting go. Wait, before I go into letting go, we have this inside joke
Yes.
with Shayla where we reference Frozen 2.
Yeah.
It's the second
It's
movie.
the second movie.
Where they're looking for the voice,
Yeah.
the voice, and then they're going
Ah.
ah.
Do it.
So I always say to Shayla, I am her little Olaf
Yeah.
because when they were looking for the voice, Elsa was singing it, and then Olaf was singing it, and then Anna was like, I think only one of you guys should sing, and then Olaf was like, I agree, she's kind of pitchy. So I'm Shayla's little
Yeah.
Olaf.
She's my Olaf always.
So letting go. That's what actually made me happy this week. I think letting go in terms of anything that is like como robándote la paz. I felt like a weight was lifted. Um, and because you can say, I think that you can say, and like when you're talking with friends and your friends are just like just forget about it, move on, or whatever. And you can say at that time, like, see, I'm gonna move on, I'm gonna forget about it, but you don't. And this
Yeah.
is when you actually let go, you actually feel that weight lifted.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt over this week.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was also like talking with my brother también, and encouraging him to let it go.
To
Es
let
que
it go.
todos pasamos por situaciones difíciles que they really do stress you out.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like shouldn't be robando tu paz.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good practice.
Yeah.
Things
And
go.
And at the end of the day, you're the only one that controls your peace of mind.
Exactly.
So like nobody can, like, if you decide, if you make the decision, like, I'm not gonna let this affect me, like, even though like it could be really tough what you're going through, but just accepting the fact that it's a situation that you're going through, and then you're gonna have to get through it, but that doesn't have to define how you wake up every single morning.
Exactly.
I think that's just like a very mature and strong thing to do.
Yeah. And like knowing that tú hiciste todo lo posible.
Yeah.
In whatever sense it is, tú hiciste todo lo posible. And like
Mhm.
whatever's gonna happen is basically, it's out of your control.
It's out of your control.
Your control, like
Yeah.
ya no hay nada más.
Yeah.
So just practice letting go.
Letting go. Do you want to sing it one more time?
Let it go. Let it go.
Perfect.
Alrighty. So going into this is our 5th episode.
This is our 5th episode.
We were struggling.
We were struggling so bad.
Technical
difficulties. One of my friends that follows us, she's from school. Shout out, you know who you are, Christina. She like was telling me that she found it so funny when I put the thing on our story that was like we're still recording but we're having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
And then with the little background music.
Yeah.
Because we struggled so hard. Well, I struggled so hard to be able to post the video that was like the multicultural one or bicultural one because it was so long. So we're gonna keep it shorter. I don't know if we looked at the time before we started recording.
No, we didn't,
but it's okay. But we're gonna keep it shorter. But if the episodes get shorter, that's why. It's just because we have technical difficulties. Yeah.
So we are on episode 5, and our topic for this episode is relationships. It's a little bit broad.
Yeah, very broad.
I think that's what happens. I think that's why our videos are super long because our topics are generally broad.
And we just talk.
We're
yapping. We're yappers. Yeah.
But yes, relationships.
Yeah.
So we all know there are different types of relationships.
Yeah.
We have relationships with our families. We have friendships. We have acquaintances. We have co-workers, classmates. And they all look different.
Yes.
Don't they, Shay?
They do. No, yeah.
I was telling Shayla that when I was younger, I was going to therapy. And una de las cosas que me acuerdo que me hizo hacer la terapista was to draw a circle with me inside the circle with my name. And then she made me list all my relationships, like ya sea con family members, my friends, and stuff like that, all around me. And then it's basically like a map. She wanted me to picture what relationships I give and in what relationships I receive, because she wanted me to understand that there needs to be like a balance of what you give and what you take. And sometimes you have relationships in which you give more than you receive, but if you're receiving in like from another relationship, then that kind of balances out. I don't know. Hopefully.
No,
entender.
No, yeah, I understand. So it was like your name, everybody that you have a relationship with. And did she do like arrows?
Yes. So she did arrows, like, so like I wish I could draw it.
Yeah.
So like coming from me
do you want to draw it?
Maybe.
Yeah, you could draw it. Okay, so look. Let's see if I can make a blank one. Yeah. Okay, so now you can draw. She's gonna show you.
I'm gonna show you my artistic skills, guys. I'm gonna use fake names. Wait.
Now you're stuck. Just family, friends.
Because every fake name that I thought like of I had to really
Okay.
Okay.
You give. That's kind of yeah.
So like,
bring it up.
I'm struggling. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys, we didn't really think this out. Well, As you can see, I'm in the middle right there, and then like those are the little arrows. So I'm giving to my family's giving to me, I'm giving to friends, school is given to me, and then with work, giving and taking. So basically, it was something just to like show that,
Demonstrate.
yeah, demonstrate that you have to have like a balance in your life when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my mi aportación. No. Yeah. So I think so first, like we have to kind of just identify how like in what relationships we're in, right?
Mhm.
Like who is a part of our life that we have a relationship with, and obviously like there are more meaningful relationships than others. Maybe that's what I was trying to get at, I don't know. But there are more meaningful relationships than others. So obviously your relationships at work, they're important to you, but they're not, well, depending on how your life is, right? But for us, like they're not going to be as important like as our family relationships.
Mhm.
There comes like kind of a priority.
Mhm.
And so with that priority, you kind of have to split yourself in different ways,
Mhm.
right? So you have to recognize what you're giving, what's giving like back, like what you're receiving from it,
Mhm.
and in places where you're only giving and in places where you're only receiving. So
Mhm.
I think knowing that distinction is really important, because that way also like you come to realize like which relationships I guess are the most important in your
Yeah,
life.
like which relationships take priority, you
Yeah.
can say.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if you're in a point in your life where you need more and you don't have enough to give, then you
Mhm.
have to seek those relationships that are able to like aportar a tu vida
Yeah.
and be that support, because
Mhm.
at that point in your life, you're not as able to give.
Yeah.
So I guess your priorities can change.
Mhm.
Like en un tiempo tu familia puede ser tu prioridad, pero en otro tiempo tal vez tus amistades,
Yeah.
or like if you have a project in school, like
Yeah.
obviously um, those relationships are gonna take priority también,
Yeah.
so they can shift.
They can shift. Yeah.
According to what you're going through in your life.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that was kind of like our the next point, excuse me. That was kind of like the next point, that not all relationships will be the same at every point in our lives. I think I've talked about this personally a lot already on this podcast. But like you're gonna have to at some point in your life prioritize some. Like you can't have them all at the top,
Mhm.
because then you're gonna like go crazy.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you have to prioritize like what's really important. And I guess at the end of the day, like what benefits you the most in some sense.
Mhm.
Like knowing in a sense what you really need and who really needs you.
Mhm.
So I think that's really important. Yeah.
No, yeah, es que estaba pensando también, like, porque te iba a decir que, like, in essence, because you said you have to think about you, what benefits you, like,
Yeah.
que sí, o sea, because it, like, I think I mentioned this in the previous episode también, que vamos a que, like, nos enseñan a no ser egoístas,
Yeah.
right? Pero también es súper importante pensar en ti. Y yo
Yeah.
creo que en este instante, hablando en relaciones, es súper importante
Mhm.
pensar en ti primero.
Yeah.
But también I think it goes back to like en qué parte de tu vida estás
Yeah.
también. Because obviously, I like van a haber etapas en tu vida donde sí tú puedes dar
Yeah.
and you want to give,
Yeah.
but there are going to be other instances where you just can't.
Yeah. Can't give.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really important because
And it all goes back, sorry,
no, it's
to
fine.
taking care of yourself
Mhm.
first. So I
Mhm.
guess, yeah, in essence, you
Mhm.
come first.
Mhm.
Because I just imagine like a little cup,
Mhm.
and then like obviously if the cup is empty, then what do you have to give?
Yeah, you have nothing
So
to
you have to fill your cup first
Yeah.
in order to be
to
able
help
to
others.
help others.
And even ahorita me estoy recordando like when you're in a plane
Mhm.
and they like do a little demonstration
Mhm.
of like if something goes wrong,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
always tell you to put on your mask first, even
Mhm.
if you have kids,
Yeah.
and even if you're like something obviously like it's life or death, but you have
Mhm.
to make sure you're okay so you can effectively help
other people. Yeah, because I mean, if you don't put the mask on first,
that's it.
that's it. You're done.
That's it. You're
¿A
done.
quién pudiste ayudar?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that is important, that not from a selfish point of view, but think of it like, because obviously, like, it's not just for us, right? Obviously, like, we need to give that back to other people. So I think by putting yourself first, like, looking at it from a perspective of like, in order for me to be effective in whatever I do and to be effective in my relationship with you, like, there is something that I need to work on first. And you do that through whatever is giving into you. I don't know if that made any sense.
No, yeah, it did.
But like, put yourself first so you can help others.
So I guess that was our first point with relationships.
Yeah.
Like, you first.
Yeah.
Because if you're not first, then you can't really help.
Yeah.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. In this podcast, you will learn how to be self-aware. But yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, as the weather's getting colder, we're all coughing.
Oh my gosh,
sneezing and sniffling.
Yeah, it's cold, guys. I don't know where you guys live, but where we are,
we have faith that our podcast is reaching.
Yeah. The nations, the nations are watching this right now. Even though we know it's everybody that we know only. I think your cousin commented on one of our posts too. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. My cousin has commented. I have a friend, like, she was
her too,
a coworker también. Thank you guys for all the support.
Yeah, thank you guys for all the support.
And the likes, the views.
I know.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and share it. You know, we really just did this. What, go?
No, go.
It was like out of nowhere it wasn't out of nowhere, but we just decided to do it, right?
Yeah, it was kind of spontaneous, I think.
It was spontaneous. Like,
we said it, but we didn't really think we were gonna do it. Like, we were on a trip. I think we
we did explain it.
That we were on a trip.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, this is why our podcasts are long.
Oh my gosh, because we're yapping. Back to the theme.
Okay. Relationships. We talked about not all relationships look the same.
Yeah.
Not all relationships will be the same at every point in our lives. We talked about that. Yeah. But relationships are necessary. They give us a sense of support and community.
Yeah.
I think we touched a little bit about this in the sense that dependiendo de en qué etapa estás en tu vida, pues you need support.
Exactly.
Well, you need support overall. You were talking about que, o sea, no es bueno estar solo.
Yeah. So I think just in any situation, you just need support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about how, like, quantity isn't important.
Yeah. Quality
is important. Porque, o sea, tú puedes decir, like, I'm not a really, like, social person. No me gusta tener muchas amistades, which is perfectly fine, because to have that support, no es que tienes que tener un montón de amigos. Yeah. Or, like, llevarte bien con todo el mundo. O sea, if you have those, like, just one friend or one family member that provides that support, then you're enough. Good. Yeah. Then you're good.
Yeah, and I was telling her, like, find somebody, like you said, you don't have to talk to them every single day, but that you know that whenever you need them, they're gonna be there. You know, and somebody like that, like, there's like that, like, prioritize that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, that's what you need, and everybody goes through difficult periods in their life, like, for whatever reason, whether it's work, whether it's school, whether it's like your little family, your health, like, everybody goes through stuff. And finding somebody that is there for you, and it's gonna give you, like, a helping hand, and you know, like, that maybe, like, finding somebody that you can trust, but that you know will put you on the right path too. Because it's also easy to, like, go, like, to people that you'll like what they say. I think they say this a lot in church. Like, go to the person that you know is gonna tell you the right thing, even if it's hard to hear.
Sometimes you need a little crazy.
Yeah. You're so funny. No, yeah, because at the end of the day, like
Because Shayla's like que me tiene.
Yeah, no, but I think that's with everything because in the hard decisions, like yesterday, I was talking with your brother, my boyfriend.
Make sure you say my boyfriend.
Yeah. So I was talking with him, and he had to make like a quick and I guess kind of a difficult decision yesterday. And I was like, look, this is my advice. And I told him what I would have done in the situation. But at the end of the day, I was like, but call your sister. But call your sister because, like, she has more experience with this and she's going to tell you her point of view. So I think sometimes you just need, like, that person, that voice of reason and that voice of experience, too.
Yeah.
Like
You
a
do.
mentor.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You always need that
Yeah.
mentor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Siempre. Y a veces no tiene que ser like, because when we think of a mentor, we probably think like alguien mayor que tú, pero a veces no necesariamente es una persona que es mayor que tú, sino, o sea, las experiencias que han
Yeah.
pasado, you know, because that's what honestly shapes you y lo que te da ese knowledge,
Yeah.
pienso yo.
Yeah. And they do that, like they say that always because now that I'm thinking about it in school, like they push us a lot, specifically in our first year, to have somebody that we can go to that has obviously been through it, you know, knows and that can share their experiences with us. Because a lot of the times, we I am a firm believer that we can learn, like we don't have to go through it to learn. Like you can learn from somebody else's experience.
You think
No,
so?
I think yeah, because but I think like it takes some form of you to say, all right, they went through this, like let me not do that just because I don't want to end up, you know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
Just because I don't want to end up like that.
No, yeah.
You also learn from experiencing, but I think you learn from experiencing because you weren't smart enough to make the decision not to act in the first place. Does that make sense?
No, yeah. Because es que estaba pensando como siempre, like, cuando se trata, por ejemplo, de los papás que están tratando de aconsejar a los hijos,
Yeah.
llega un punto donde sí dicen, like, ellos dicen, pues,
Like they have to fall on their face.
yeah,
Kinda.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
lo tiene que, like, pasar, because
Yeah.
no importa cuántas veces se le diga o cuántas veces lo mire, o sea,
They're not gonna listen.
yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. But I think like there's two ways of learning. Like right before you experience something, you have the decision whether to go into that experience or not to go into that experience. You don't have to go into that experience, but because you choose not to listen to somebody who maybe gave you the advice, like you go through that experience and you learn that way. Regardless, you learn. I think, but I don't think you have to live through it. You know.
I guess.
Obviously, maybe you learn something different if you live through it because you're actually living in that situation. So it's not bad, but I feel like you just don't have to go. You don't have to learn from it. Like you don't have to go through it. You have to learn from it. You don't have to go through
No,
it.
yeah, yeah, I guess.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where we ended up. I don't know how we ended up there. But yeah.
We were talking about relationships.
Yeah, we were talking about relationships. Find a mentor. That's
Find
I think
a mentor,
that's
yeah.
it. Find a mentor. Find somebody that you can trust in and that you know like that you trust and that you know you're gonna listen to them because it's easy to hear people talking to you and giving you advice and you're being like, yeah. But then at the end of the day, like, are you really gonna listen to them? So find somebody that you know, that you trust.
And that's where I think, like, going back to what you were saying, es que a veces it's like, you can listen to it, y like, I don't know, because I'm, like, pensando en me, like, I do have, like, good friends that give me good advice. It's not like I'm choosing not to listen to them, but it just happens.
You're funny. You're funny.
So I guess it's just type of people. Like maybe
Yeah, maybe it's
maybe I'm just the
personality.
maybe I'm just the type of person that just needs to fall flat on my
Wonderful. Wonderfully put. Yeah. No. I think I don't know, maybe it is personality wise though. Maybe it is. Because I feel like obviously there's some things that like I don't know.
Maybe it goes back to You know, when you're in school, they teach you what type of learner you are. Maybe you're the type of learner that like you can learn by listening or by seeing what other people what they're going through. And there's some people that learn by like actually like doing
Doing it.
something.
But I'm a doing it learner.
You're doing it?
Yeah.
Really? You have to do it. And the funny thing is that I think I'm a
You're listening? No.
no, what am I? I don't know.
Reading? No, what is it? I don't even know what they are. I think it's
Like visual
listening,
learner,
a visual,
an audio learner,
and like a
uh
hands-on, right?
kinesthetic.
Girl, I don't
I
know.
think so. I think so. You think because he said it. I think. But yeah. So maybe I don't know.
I mean, what type of learner are
What's
you?
and we got sidetracked again.
Yeah. But yeah.
So now you guys know a little bit about Amy.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that needs to It's okay.
Insane.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's okay.
I learned though.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing.
No matter how.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
so
Next.
next. Healthy relationships versus unhealthy relationships.
Light topics.
Light topics.
Light topics.
I don't even know what to say about
Like,
healthy and unhealthy relationships.
you just gotta know. You gotta know. And I
like the
think
red flags.
yeah, the red flags one. You have to know the red flags, and I think deep down you do know, like deep down,
Yeah. No.
that we choose to
definitivamente.
ignore.
Yeah. That's why hay muchos TikToks, reels, or whatever about like people just ignoring the red flags.
Yeah.
Like the red flag pops up, you just like, yeah, I'm gonna keep on going.
Yeah. So you just have to know, like, what, like,
And then with that, like, just you have to know in the red flags. That's why it's so important to be self-aware, to know your boundaries
yeah,
también. Because in essence, si tú no sabes tus límites and you don't have like like boundaries marcadas, then that's how you fall into the trap.
the trap.
And that's how you fall into like ignoring the red flag,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I think you have to know, like, that. Well, okay, so a point that I wanted to touch here is that unhealthy. Well, so we're talking about unhealthy relationship versus healthy relationships. This looks different in different types of relationships. There's different types. Like, an unhealthy work relationship is not gonna look the same as an unhealthy like partner relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So like knowing to recognize that it's different, right?
Explain, elaborate.
So like an unhealthy, like, so what's an unhealthy work environment? Like where you're stressed all the time, where they're overworking you,
Mm-hmm.
not giving you adequate compensation,
Mm-hmm.
your bosses are bad, or your boss is bad, or your
Yelling.
coworkers are bad. Yeah, like it's just a bad situation all around. Like, I know people are in different financial situations, but like if you can, like, just get out of there. Like, why? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? An unhealthy partner relationship, like, it's just unhealthy. It's toxic. Like, what I think that's very like common, like cheating, like yelling, like abuse,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just different.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
And obviously there are some relationships like tal vez, o sea, because you were like saying del trabajo, right? If you're
Yeah.
in an unhealthy environment, pues solo like leave.
Yeah.
And there are other relationships where just
It's harder to leave.
Yeah.
And work, that's what I'm saying. People are in different financial situations. Like maybe you're not in the place where you can just up and leave work,
Mm-hmm.
because it's people are just in different points of their lives. But if you can, like, just go. Like, just do it. Like,
Leave,
this is
do
your
it.
confirmation to dip.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but when you're like, whether if it's a partner and family too,
Mm-hmm.
like, not, you can't, in a way, partners maybe even still you can escape it. Family,
You can't.
you can't really escape it.
You
Like,
can't escape it, but you can definitely like hacer espacio.
yeah,
Because, por ejemplo, si tú estás viviendo con tus papás, con tus hermanos y todo eso, and like the environment, the relationships are just not good,
hmm,
then you know it's a priority to leave.
yeah,
And not to like say like I'm gonna hate them or like ya nunca les voy
No.
a hablar or whatever. But o sea, sometimes you just need that space.
Yeah. And it goes back to the circle.
Goes back to the
It
circle.
goes back to the circle because of like it depends on what point of your life you are,
Mhm.
because there's gonna be points where that like you just can't take that. Like ahorita me recuerdo mucho a like maybe somebody like in substance abuse issues.
Mhm.
Obviously the circle that they surround themselves with, not good.
Not good. Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So if they're trying to get out of that,
Mhm.
like you're gonna have to try to like you have to set a boundary.
Mhm.
There's no way that you can, well maybe there is, I don't know. But I don't think that there's any way that you can get out of that environment while still keeping and maintaining those types of relationships.
Yeah.
It's not.
And it just might be just para like poder salir de eso.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Yeah.
Yeah, porque por ejemplo, going to the substance abuse, pueda que, o sea, tú ahorita estés like pasando por una adicción or whatever. En ese momento, it's not healthy for you to be around that people. But after que ya has podido like superar eso
Mhm.
and you're like strong in that,
Yeah.
entonces then you can reconnect.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Obviously, siempre manteniendo like your
Boundaries.
boundaries, knowing your limits and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness, yeah.
Yeah.
And space is like
Healthy.
healthy. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, they are. Space is healthy.
Space is healthy. No, I think space is healthy.
But we were talking. Remember when we were talking about like how a veces en relaciones dicen like I need space,
Oh yeah.
and you were like you don't believe it. I think
That is
también.
so funny because I literally that is so funny. You know why? Because literally a couple like last week, I was like like I came out. It was that time of the month. I
Mhm.
came downstairs and my dad was like trying to like have a conversation with me, and he realized that I was like I was pissed off for
Mhm.
no reason
Mhm.
other than it was that time of the month.
Mhm.
And he was like, "What can I do to help you?" And I was like, "Just give me my space." No, but yeah, space. I don't believe in, but it depends. In a partner
Relationship.
relationship,
Por eso te digo,
I don't believe in space because you have to learn how to deal with your issues together. Like if this is long term,
Exactly.
like open the box, let it all out. Like we have to work on it
Yeah.
if we're in this long term,
Mhm.
you know?
And that's the difference. Like that's when you need to know, like, do you want to be in it long term?
Mm-hmm.
Because then if you do, then you have to learn how to work
Yeah.
with it. But if you really like aren't sure if you're looking at it long term, then I guess por eso sale eso de
Yeah.
démonos el espacio.
And that's why, yeah, that's why you have to see like if you're willing to put in the work.
Mhm.
Because there's this post, I don't know if you've seen it, that's like everything is hard.
Mhm.
Being in a relationship is hard. Being
Mhm.
single is hard.
Mhm.
Being married is hard. Being divorced is hard.
Mhm.
Being healthy is hard. Being unhealthy is hard.
Mhm.
Like choose your hard.
Choose your hard.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
So choose your hard.
choose your hard. Yeah. So, but that's why I think you have to recognize. But with toxic relationships, like if you can get out of it or set a boundary, do it. Because at the end of the day, I think it's gonna, if you don't set the boundary and you let it affect yourself.
Mhm.
If that make does that make, is that English? If you let it affect you.
Yes. I think.
If you let it affect you, it's gonna end up affecting other relationships.
Mhm.
Because thinking about it, specifically in a family, like it affects. Like if you're not in a good work environment, say you're a mom, if you're not in a good work environment, you come home stressed, pissed off,
Mhm.
like who's gonna get the bad end of that stick, your husband or your kids, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
And like the same thing, like it's gonna pour into other places of your life that you wouldn't expect it to pour into.
Mhm.
So I think if you are able to recognize the red flags and make the decision to just, you know,
Mhm.
get out of there.
And yeah, you're right. And it can be stressful.
Yeah.
Like, because I think we all know when we are in an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
And like the pressure that you can feel from someone telling you like get out. It can be a little crazy. So yo solo digo, like, cada quien tiene su timeline.
Yeah.
Y cada quien, like, knows lo que puede aguantar también.
Mhm.
So, like, don't, like, if you're trying to get out of something or you don't know, unless it's like physical harm,
Yeah,
abuse, or
that's just
whatever, then I'm saying, like,
yeah.
leave. Pero other than that, like, I would say just, yeah, escucha los consejos and, like, but don't let that stress you también.
Yeah.
Because it can add stress también. Because
Mhm.
you're trying to make a decision, a hard
Mhm.
decision, and then,
Mhm.
like, people telling you, do this.
You're so funny.
So don't be stressed.
We're two different people here. Two different people. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. So I think my 2 cents. My two
I would
cents.
just say be gentle with yourself.
Be gentle with yourself. Obviously, be gentle with
Mhm.
yourself, but know like, that you gotta get. Look, in my
Look,
this is look.
the
I'm gonna give you. If you need a little today, I'm gonna give it to you. Unless you're married, unless you're married, because obviously, like in my eyes, that's a very big commitment. Or you've made a strong commitment with someone where you're like living. Because I don't know whatever situation. Like if you're living with them, you have kids with them. Like unless you're in one of those relationships, or it's your parents, or it's just your family who you're really close to, or it's work where your
like I have a
family,
commitment.
yeah, unless you're like very committed into this relationship, what's stopping you from leaving?
Mhm.
Nothing.
Mhm.
You know?
The commitment to
No.
your feelings.
You're insane. No, but
This is actually how our conversations
yeah,
go.
this is how they play out. Like, it's because what is stopping you from leaving? Truly, like, nothing is stopping you
Mhm.
from leaving. Like, I know, like, obviously, like, your feelings might be hurt. Like, you're gonna go through a point
Yeah.
of sadness, but if you stay there, you're gonna go through a point of sadness regardless,
Mhm.
with no
This
like.
is going back to choose your heart.
Yeah, choose your heart,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And choose your heart and choose what's gonna give you the most benefit in the future.
Mhm.
I'm a future
Mhm.
person. Like
Mhm.
I overthink. I'm an overthinker.
Mhm. Mhm.
So like if it's
Oh, that's so funny. I know I'm
what?
gonna stop you because in work, like we have like these weekly like open conversations. I forgot cómo se llama, Key Week or algo así. Ni me acuerdo. Pero like where we talk about like things, and we were talking about like what kind of thinker are you? Are you an overthinker or are you just like a simple thinker? And
Yeah.
it's so funny that you just said that you're an overthinker because what I said in my job is that I'm like a simple thinker, that I don't really think it out.
Yeah, and that's why we're two different people. There's another podcast that is there's two best friends, and one says that she's an overthinker and the other one is an oversharer. And I
Okay.
think of like us, like I
Mhm.
feel like, well, not that you overshare, but you're like, I always was like shocked how people open up to you so quickly,
Mhm.
and that like never happens to me.
But I think it goes back to, and I think we were gonna mention this about like I'm not like I don't know how to phrase it because I'm not trying to say like you're not transparent or something like that. But yo siento que I feel like it's easier to people when you
Open up yourself,
yes,
and it's harder for me to do
and
that.
then I'm just the like, and obviously llega momentos when it's not good, right? To overshare, but I am like I can say like I am an open book. Like I am not a,
Mhm.
like I mean no me importa decir like what I've gone through, what I'm going through.
Yeah,
Like it's just
it's like this is
this is me. This is me. And
this.
then and then I think that's why it makes it
Yeah.
easier for people.
Open
Because
up.
obviously si alguien me está diciendo algo de él o de ella
Yeah.
y like y miro esa transparencia, obviously también de mí va a salir también
Yeah.
que contarle, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are two different types of
We're two
people.
different types of people. Yeah.
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 A mí me cuesta sacarle a ella, incluso. I
Yeah.
feel like
But it's not just you. It's like literally everybody. I don't know
And then it's
Why?
so funny that we're saying this because like when we were talking about the topic, like I feel like going back to the
The
circle,
circle.
I feel like with our relationship, yo
Yeah.
siento que a veces tú das más
Than you.
than you. And it's like,
Yeah.
entonces últimamente I'm trying to be like, quiero dar más.
Yeah.
Like I want to be that support for you
support.
también. But like I always ask you like, how you doing? And then you're like, fine, yeah. And then quiet, and then I'm like, and then I start yapping.
Because I feel like, look, like I'm like, I don't have. I think my emotions get like, um, bundled up until the end, which is really
Yeah.
bad.
No, yeah.
Because up until the end, where feel like I have like so much going on, and like literally like my world is crashing.
Because I think I have seen you like once or twice.
Yeah.
On that breaking
Yeah.
point, I have, yeah.
Because I do consider myself a very, well, I don't know now. Maybe my parents may have a different perspective, but I consider my family. I do consider myself like a tolerant person, like in the sense of like withholding pressure. But recently,
Mhm.
I think I'm a little bit weaker in that. I mean, recently I've popped more
Vamos.
with
Because
the
I guess, por eso te digo, todo con, ¿cómo se dice esa palabra? Todo con, the word is slipping. But like it has to be like a
balance.
balance type of thing. Like tú no puedes, o sea, no es bueno like, no es bueno decirlo todo a veces,
Yeah.
pero a veces tampoco es bueno
Keep it in.
quedártelo todo
Yeah.
también. So it's
Mhm.
just knowing, like, hasta qué punto,
Yeah.
por decir.
Mhm.
So
Balance.
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 Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, so
Next.
next, where are we?
Next, where are we? I don't even think I finished my last point, but I
I
don't.
know I cut you off.
But I don't remember what it
We were
was.
talking about like you were saying I'm an overthinker because I know that's where I cut you off because I
Yeah,
started talking about
but I don't remember. But the point that I wanted to make, I think, just overall with that is like recognize what is an unhealthy relationship and
Oh, I think I know where you were trying to go. You were saying that like you're an overthinking. You like to think in the future.
oh yeah, that's why I'm like very
Mhm.
very rigid, I feel.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I think in the future, and if it's not benefiting you
Mhm.
in the future long term, because you know, like we were talking about this
Mhm.
this week, like you know, like whether an environment is going to change or not. You know. You
Mhm.
don't tell me you don't know. You know. I know that you know. Like you know whether your work environment, whether your family environment, whether your partner like environment, friendship environment, whatever relationship that you're in, you know in your heart whether you see hope there or not. So I think choose your heart.
Mhm.
You're going to be sad, depressed, whatever if you stay there, and you're going to go through hardships if you stay there. You're also going to go through hardships if you're not there.
Mhm.
But if you're not there and you remove yourself from the situation, at the end of the day, you see light. Like you
Mhm.
see light at the end of the tunnel.
Mhm.
If you stay there, it's a little
You don't see the
you
light.
don't really see the light. You don't really see the light. But I think
But they teach you never to lose hope.
oh god. No, but I think like choose your heart, and if I know and recognize that if you're in a commitment, obviously it's gonna be like 10 times harder because you're kind of like you're rooted there. But yeah, don't ignore the red flags.
In conclusion.
In conclusion. But yeah, next.
Okay, next. I don't know. Where are we, Shan?
Here, relationships are grounded. Relationships are grounded on trust, understanding, and compromise. You have to give and you have to take.
Like the circle.
The circle. Just think anything we say today, take it back to the circle. But yeah, just know that like in order for something to work, especially in I'm gonna say family and like significant other, because those are the ones that I can like really but like you have to speak your truth and receive the other person's truth. So like you have to know that there are things that you're gonna have to do that are for the other person and that the other person has to do for you. I think they say this a lot when marriage. You get married to make the other person happy. Yeah. So that's like a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard
Because
pill
cuando
to
uno
swallow.
piensa, una mujer, cuando
Yeah.
piensa en casarse, dice, "Ah, they're gonna make me so happy."
I know. Little do you know.
Little do you know.
Yeah.
Like your mentality has to be different.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah, in that sense. And I think with like just when with all of the relationships that you have prioritized, like it's gonna take compromise, it's gonna take work, it's gonna take trust, and you're gonna have to understand that there are things that you do not in a bad intention, because this has happened to me a lot. Like I do things not with a bad intention, but that are received not well. Right? And that just comes from different personalities, different experiences, different childhoods, different ways of thinking. And you have to recognize that, well, I didn't mean to, but I did hurt you. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Like,
Es que, like, I think I don't know if I've talked about it here, but I know I've said it. Like, el pedir perdón is para la otra persona. And if you care for that other person, o sea, pedir perdón no te va a costar. Because, like you said, it might have been not your intention to lastimar a esa persona, but in essence you did.
Yeah.
So if you hurt that person and you care for that person,
You're gonna ask for forgiveness.
ask
Yeah.
for forgiveness.
And two, recognize that, and this is where it takes like a big step of maturity. Like if it's somebody that hurt you, they'd say that you ask for forgiveness too. So like say you wonderful.
We're not getting anywhere.
No, but they say that. Like
No, they do,
say,
yeah.
They say like if you're trying to move on, if you're say you hurt me, you're fine. You don't have a care in the world, but
Yeah.
I'm like hurt. Like I'm like hurt.
Yeah.
For me to ask you forgiveness, which makes absolutely no sense. But they say it brings closure, which is crazy. Like that's
Wait,
really
to
crazy.
ask for forgiveness or just to forgive them without them asking for forgiveness?
Both, I think.
Both.
Yeah.
Like actually ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like what am I
well,
gonna
that's a little bit more difficult.
What am
Just
I gonna
say
ask
like
for forgiveness? How am I
I'm
gonna say it?
sorry, like
I'm sorry that you hurt me.
No.
Makes no sense, right, people?
No, like I'm sorry, like that we went through the situation. Like I just wanted to make sure, like we were good. Like, and open your like if it's somebody that you trust, open your heart. Be like, if I'm being honest, like what you did, like hurt me, but I don't know, like open your heart to find closure. I think, and forgive them. Yeah. I don't know how the ask for forgiveness would go. Like I'm being honest, I've never done that, but but that's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just in general, just say I'm sorry we went through this.
Yeah. So that. You're skeptical.
Moving on. Know how to address conflict. Know how to address conflict properly and maturely. Like I guess we were talking about it. I'm a firm believer that you have to talk about it. Like there are people that want to live this life and just ignoring situations.
I don't know how people live like that, honestly. But maybe because we're women.
So then that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's just a guy and a girl type of thing. Like maybe it's more of like las mujeres que tienen que hablarlo, and then guys are just like, let's just move on.
Let's just move on. No,
like,
I'm not.
I cannot move on.
Me too.
Like I cannot. Like I have to talk about it. Like how do you expect me to move on from something if we haven't talked about it?
We can talk about it and then move on,
and then,
but it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, es que eso es lo que pasa. Like, okay, say you like went through something and then you don't talk about it and it wasn't addressed. Okay, después siguen como que sin nada, pero después pasa otra cosita y eso.
Like it's the same problem. Like you bring it back because it wasn't resolved.
Yeah.
So it just becomes like a big, like it adds to the pile
Yeah.
of just bad
So
things.
just talk about it.
Yeah, just talk about it.
Guys, talk about
Talk
it.
about it, guys. Come on. Yeah. No, I think that too. Like, if it's not addressed, they can't be resolved,
Mhm.
and that's really hard because I used to consider myself a person that would hate confrontation, but I
Mhm.
think I hate confrontation in certain situations
Mhm.
because when I get in like an argument, like I like need to talk about it too. Yeah, like I need to talk about it, and I just wanna like we just have to talk. Like we have to talk. Now I have a question for you though.
Mhm.
Do you need space before you talk, or do you want to talk right away?
Well, I'm the type of person that wants to talk about it right away, pero sí entiendo las personas que dicen,
They
like,
need space.
dame tiempo, like, si tú me dices, por ejemplo, si pasamos por algo y tú me dices, and like, yo estoy ahí, quiero hablar, y tú me dices, mira, like, necesito tiempo,
Mhm.
pero vamos a hablarlo.
Mhm.
Just give me time.
Yeah.
I understand that. And
Yeah.
I'm able to give that time. But then if time goes by
And nothing happened.
and no hemos hablado de la situación, then I just like, that's where I go crazy. So yeah, like I'm speaking like I'm the type of person that says I want to talk about it now.
No.
But I do understand, like,
Yeah.
y no me enoja si alguien me dice, like, space.
Yeah. It's hard for me to understand.
That?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's I don't know why, but I just want to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Like it's hard for me to understand why somebody would need space. I understand needing space in the fact that like, and I applaud anybody who is like this, like saying like I need space because if I'm gonna talk to you now, like it's
I'm
not
gonna
gonna be
hurt you,
good.
yeah. Mhm.
Like I get that. I guess it annoys me a little bit, but I understand it because I was also talking with my dad a couple of days ago, and he was telling me how like in arguments, like it in just in situations in general, he chooses to wait because he knows like that if he says something, it's not gonna be, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
So if you have that type of self control, good. But I want to talk about.
I think it's easy for me to wait. Y like si alguien me dice like dame tiempo because I'm just afraid to get hurt.
Oh really?
Yeah, so like I don't want that person to say something that's hurtful. So that's why I
Okay.
feel like I'm easier to give that space. Like si tú me
Mhm.
estás diciendo, then like I view it as that. And that's what helps me to give that space because I really like yo quiero resolverlo. I don't want to hurt you and I don't want you to hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
So think about it like that.
Yeah, I will.
See? I taught you something today.
You're sweet. Okay.
Not everyone thinks the same and knows what you're thinking. What?
Okay. Obviously, you can tell I wrote that point because I knew exactly.
Elaborate, please, Miss Shayla.
I knew exactly. So it says not everyone thinks the same, comma. I don't know if this makes sense and knows what you're thinking. In conclusion, communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate. Communication, I think, is the key or a key to any healthy relationship because people are different. People think differently. People act differently. Like, people are different. Like, if you put us in the same situation, like, there's no guarantee that we're going to act the same.
Yeah, definitely we're not gonna react to
So,
know that for sure.
but yeah, like, people are different. So, if you communicate what you are feeling, how it affected you, communicate like if you're hurt, how it hurt you. Communicate if you hurt somebody that it wasn't your intention to hurt. Like just communication in general is key because things get misunderstood because there are so many things left unsaid.
Mhm.
And so if you speak, it's just things will be clearer, you'll understand. Maybe it'll be difficult to understand the other person or where
Mhm.
the other person came from, but at least you know that that's where they came from, you know?
And if you're speaking it and you're communicating like your feelings or what hurt you or whatever, y la persona is not taking it seriously, then that's how you you know you're in an
Yeah.
unhealthy relationship, because no hay nada malo con decir lo que estás
Yeah,
sintiendo.
exactly.
Like, I mean, if like, especially like, no, in any type of relationship, it should be encouraged
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
let the other, like,
Mhm.
to tell people how you feel, or your
Mhm.
friend or your relationship,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
It should be
It
encouraged.
should be encouraged. Yeah, to
Isn't lo que le
share.
dicen gaslighting?
What?
El de when they ignore your feelings or something.
I don't know. I thought gaslighting. I'm a little bit confused on gaslighting because it was explained to me.
I think it was just explained to me too, but me confundió the
Yeah.
explanation.
So it was explained to me. Gaslighting is like when like when I, like, for example, I'll give you guys context. I'll give you the scoop. So it was an argument where I was saying like that the person did something wrong, and then the person was saying that and then okay, so that, and then, or it was vice versa. I think I did something wrong, and then we were in an argument, whatever, and then I started saying like what that other person had done, kind of like to even out the score.
Wait, you said this before, like you're type of the revenge person.
Oh yeah. No, but I said, and then like that was gaslighting. I don't really know what gaslighting is though. Then.
Me either. So if you guys would like,
So if you guys would like
leave in the comments
what you think
gaslighting
gaslighting
is.
is, I'm literally gonna look it up right now. It says, okay, so it says gaslighting is a method of gaining control over somebody else. It works by breaking down a person's trust in themselves while increasing how much they trust or depend on the abusive person.
So basically manipulation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, whatever. I don't remember what the point was. Oh, to communicate, yeah, that your healthy relationships have to be a space where you can openly communicate and not feel judged, and feel like the other person is actually listening to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even if they don't agree, like, and it's okay to not agree, like, on everything, but to have a space where you could share how you feel, what you think, regardless.
And understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to agree, but you can understand where they're
Exactly.
coming from. Yeah. So
I think that too. Yeah. So that's that.
understand that quality
Quality
time
time
matters.
matters,
We
yeah.
talked about this a little bit in the
Yeah.
beginning. Like, it doesn't, quantity doesn't matter. It's the quality. Ya sea en el número de amistades que tenga, o el tiempo que estás pasando con la persona. Like, you don't have to see them every day.
Exactly.
It's the quality of every meeting
is
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that too. Quality over quantity. Yeah.
So we need to
So,
start wrapping this up.
Yes, we are wrapping this up now.
We want to wrap it up with one thing we learned.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing we learned this week. You want me to go first?
Yeah, because I forgot one.
Okay. I learned this week, and we talked about it today too, like knowing your limits, your boundaries. Yeah, like en el trabajo yo soy el tipo de persona que le digo sí a todo.
Yeah.
Like, me dicen do this, do that, or we need to do this, do that. And I think it comes from a sense of like I'm very competitive, and I am working in a competitive market in an essence. So I always want to grow.
Yeah.
So me están diciendo haz esto, haz esto, haz esto. So hasta like maybe like last week or 2 weeks ago, I was like yes, 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 yes. Y llegó al punto donde le dije ya, like my supervisor, I was like I can't.
And how did they
Hasta
take
aquí
that?
llegué. And they were like fine with it, because to be honest, not to brag, but like ya me habían dicho like that I was a very good worker, and everyone was impressed with how I was managing the amount of cases that I was managing y todo eso. So siempre me preguntaban like, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? Are you managing well? Like, take care of yourself. Y yo siempre, yeah, I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine. Pero llegué like a ese punto where I wasn't fine, and le dije, and my supervisor was like, no, I'm happy that you told me. y no sé qué, no sé cuánto, and we worked out a plan.
That's good.
So,
Yeah.
knowing, that's what I
good.
learned, to know like your
Yeah.
limits and listen to yourself. También, o
Yeah.
sea, si ya estás llegando a ese punto, because I could have chose to ignore it and just keep going, and then that's when
It
you
would have been
break.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
I went to this chat. I know we're short on time, but I went to this chat, and one of the questions my friend asked was, "How do you say no to your supervisor?"
Mhm.
The guy didn't really know how to answer the question, but I think that's very important, especially in whatever environment you're in. Know that it's okay to say no sometimes,
Mhm.
and if no is better, like choose that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Choose that because you know yourself, and you know that if you're gonna be producing like what's the like work that's not good,
Mhm.
like it's just better to say no
No.
because at the end
Mhm.
of the day, what you're producing isn't good, and then you're leaving a bad rep about yourself.
Yeah.
So just say
Exactly.
no.
Mhm.
Yeah. So one thing I learned this
Mhm.
week was that sometimes what you don't want to do will make you feel good
Mhm.
like after you do it.
Mhm.
So this week I have not been on my workout grind. um but I worked out this week, and after work I did not. I like literally dragged myself to work out, and after I worked out I was like, dang, like that felt really good.
Mhm.
Like I missed like that feeling, and
Mhm.
it's because of the endorphins or whatever.
Mhm.
But like sometimes you just gotta do it, and at the end of the day know that it's gonna make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, last night we had an event to go to, and I was stressed out, was like really stressed out, specifically like like when it was time to leave, because I had like I do have so much to do this weekend, and like it was just one of those days where you're not working, I guess, to not to your potential, but no me alcanzó. Like
Mhm.
I spent so much time doing something that was barely any work. I
Mhm.
don't know if that makes
No, yeah.
sense,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know? And so I was stressed out. I was like, like I have so much to do, like, and I have to go to this, and I was just like in a weird mood. But after I went and after we got out, like I felt like so much better, and it was just nice. So
Mhm.
sometimes like you're not going to want to do something, but if you know that it's good for you, do it,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, like it'll make you feel better, and
Mhm.
it'll give you motivation to just keep going in
Mhm.
general.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, really good.
Yeah, that was my one thing I learned. Yeah.
Alrighty.
So
We
we're
need to
gonna
close it.
yeah, we're gonna close with two verses as always. About relationships, friendships, whatever you name it. So this first verse is in Proverbs 17:17. And it says, "A friend loves you all the time, but a brother was born to help in times of trouble." So I just want to make a quick pause here
Mhm.
and know that it's important to recognize that, like with the give and take, back to the circle,
Mhm.
there are different relationships for different times, for different
Mhm.
seasons in
Mhm.
your life, and know that it's important to find that, I guess, brother kind
Mhm.
of relationship that whatever's going on, you have that person there
Mhm.
or that group of people there. Yeah.
Mhm. For sure. In Spanish dice, un amigo es siempre leal y un hermano nace para ayudar en tiempo de necesidad. Proverbios 17:17.
Mhm.
Efesios 4:2 dice, sean siempre humildes y amables, sean pacientes unos con otros y tolérense las faltas por amor.
And it's in English, it's Ephesians 4:2. Always be humble and gentle, be patient, and accept each other with love.
Just love one another.
Just love.
Love.
Love. All right.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching this through if you guys watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, we do appreciate the support that you guys have given us.
Mm-hmm.
Keep supporting us.
Mm-hmm.
And till
Next
next time.
time.
Bye.
Bye.